Sergeant Stein, reporting for duty. Washington Square Park, Greenwich Village. I bet you're wondering, why am I dressed this way? I'll tell you why. Years ago, in the early 1800s, this park, before it was a park, was a military parade ground. They used to do parades here. That's what the getup is. Before that, this 10 acres of land was a potter's field. They used to have yellow fever outbreaks downtown, late 1700s, early 1800s. These used to bury the bodies. All right? Then, before that, this area of Monetta Creek used to go through here from 5th Avenue to Monetta Street. Remember I did a segment on Monetta Street? Right through here. So back then, these were farms. These were freed slaves at their farms here. And then in the 1850s, it became a park. So the first fountain was put in 1852. All right? Fascinating. It's amazing what I know. But the most prominent part of the park is the arch. Washington Square Arch. Isn't that magnificent? This arch was put in 100 years after George Washington's inauguration. So he was inaugurated April 30th, 1889. They put this magnificent arch in. But it wasn't this arch. The original arch was made of wood and plaster, designed by Stanford White, the great architect. He also did this arch too, replaced it with this magnificent stone, marble, granite arch. Follow me. So this is 5th Avenue. 5th Avenue begins at Washington Square Park North. Up until the early 60s, buses would come down 5th Avenue, go around the fountain, head back up 6th Avenue. This was a bus turnaround, right? Who stopped that? Jane Jacobs, the activist. She put a halt to traffic going in the park. So now it's car free or bus free. There's two very prominent sculptures in the front of the arch. This one is Washington at War, done in 1916 by Herman McNeil. The other one is Washington at Peace, then after that by A. Sterling Calder. He's the father of Alexander Calder, famous artist of the Caldermobiles. And this magnificent row of Greek Revival houses here is called a row. It's the finest example of Greek Revival architecture in New York, mainly owned by NYU. Number 3, which is down the end, used to be where Edward Hopper lived and died in 1966. Number 7, Edith Wharton lived there. All right? Nice. Now it's letter writing time. Dog. It's a good city dog. You can put in your pocket, take it on the subway. All right, I got this letter from the person called Pat Pizzuti. Pat Pizzuti. She writes to me, "Dear Mr. Stein, we're about 6 months into this crazy pandemic and I'm starting to lose it. I live alone and the loneliness is driving me nuts. We have a very strict no pet policy in my building, so no dogs or cats. A friend suggested a hamster or a guinea pig, but they give me the creeps. Do you have any suggestions for pet to ease my loneliness? No birds. They make too much noise. Thank you, Pat Pizzuti." All right, Pat. When I read this, the first thing that popped into my mind was snails. Snails make a wonderful pet. Very low maintenance. You get 2 of them. You put them in a clear plastic box. You throw a piece of lettuce in there once a week. They're happy. Also, they could be your your emotional animal. You know, when you go to a psychiatrist and you give you a certificate saying you can't live without these snails because you get very anxious. So that's another good reason to have snails. Also, you get to spend time naming snails. You come up with names like Cuff and Link, Starsky and Hutch, Laverne and Shirley. So snails are the way to go. All right? All right. Poetry time. This is another great poem by that poet Dermot McDermott we talked about when I did that thing on Monetta Street. It's a short one. It's called General Macarthur Eats His Wheaties. Power steering glides me through the cracks in the cornfield. Mamie Eisenhower loves to bowl in the dark. Pay the light bill. Pay the light bill. Pay the light bill. Huh? Is that something? That's poetry, baby. That's good poetry. All right, let me get out of here. Let me get my mask on. You know, it's still in the middle of a pandemic. Hope this will be over someday. So until next time, I'm out of here.